The year was 2347. Humanity had been part of the galactic community for almost 100 years. They were not important. They were not powerful. The older species looked at humans the way adults look at children playing in the corner. Harmless, unremarkable, easy to ignore. The United Earth Fleet was small compared to the great navies of the galaxy. Human ships patrolled the quiet edges of explored space, watching empty sectors where nothing ever happened. It was boring work. It was safe work. And for Captain Lisa, it was slowly driving her crazy. She stood on the bridge of the UEF Steadfast, looking out at the endless stars. The Steadfast was not a new ship. It was not a powerful ship. It was a patrol vessel built 30 years ago, held together by repairs and stubborn hope. Had commanded it for 5 years. She knew every creak and groan of its old hull. "Another quiet day," said Commander Price, her first officer. He was a tall man with gray at his temples and calm eyes. He had served with for 3 years. He knew her moods well. "Too quiet," replied. She crossed her arms and frowned at the... "We have been out here for 6 months. Nothing happens. Nothing ever happens." "That is supposed to be good," Price said with a small smile. "I know, but it does not feel good. It feels like we are forgotten." The bridge was small and functional. 12 crew members worked at their stations, monitoring sensors and communications and navigation. The hum of the engines was constant, like a heartbeat. The air smelled faintly of recycled oxygen and coffee. Ensign sat at the communications station. She was young, only 24, with dark hair pulled back in a tight bun. This was her first deep space assignment. She had spent the last 6 months learning that space was mostly empty and mostly boring. But today, her console beeped. Looked at the screen, then she looked again. Her eyes went wide. "Captain," she said, her voice was strange, tight. "I am picking up a transmission." "Turned from Earth Command." "No, Captain, it is not human. It is using encryption." The bridge went quiet. The Dominion was one of the most powerful empires in the galaxy. They controlled hundreds of star systems. Their fleet was massive, and they did not like humans very much. "Why are we receiving a transmission?" Price asked. Worked at her console, her fingers moving fast. There was a solar flare in the nearby system. It disrupted normal transmission paths. The signal bled into our monitoring frequency. It was not meant for us. "Can you decode it?" asked. "I can try. The encryption is strong, but we have some protocols in our database from the diplomatic exchange last year." Nodded. "Do it." The next hour was tense. Worked in silence while the rest of the bridge crew watched, paced back and forth, her boots clicking on the metal floor. Price stood still, his hands behind his back, waiting. Finally spoke. "I have partial decryption. It is not complete, but I can read most of it." "Put it on the main screen," ordered. The flickered text appeared, translated into English by the ship's computer, read it slowly. Then she read it again, her stomach dropped. The message contained coordinates, weapon specifications, a timeline, and orders. Orders to attack a civilian colony. "This is a military directive," Price said quietly. "They are planning an assault." "The target coordinates," said. "I checked them against our navigation charts. It is a colony, Haven 4. Everyone did. They were an amphibian species, peaceful and gentle. They had no military. They believed in harmony and cooperation. They had always been friendly toward humans, even when other species ignored them." "How many people live on Haven 4? Asked. Checked her console. Over 200,000, including children and elderly. "When is the attack scheduled?" 72 hours from now." Felt cold. She looked at the message on the screen. It was clear. It was detailed. It was real. They were going to attack an innocent colony and kill everyone there. "This was not meant for us," Price said. "We intercepted it by accident." "I know. If we interfere, it could cause a diplomatic incident. They might see it as an act of war." "I know. We are one ship, one old patrol vessel. We cannot fight the Dominion." "I know." Stared at the screen. Her mind was racing. Every logical part of her brain told her to do nothing. Report the transmission to Earth Command. Let the diplomats handle it. Stay out of trouble. But they had no time for diplomats. By the time Earth Command received their message, by the time anyone decided what to do, the colony would be ashes. "How far is Haven 4 from our current position?" she asked. Calculated, 18 hours at maximum speed. And the nearest military vessel. Weeks away. The do not maintain military ships near their outer colonies. They never expected to need them. Turned to face her crew, they were all watching her. Waiting. She saw fear in some eyes, uncertainty in others, but she also saw something else, something that looked like hope. We intercepted a message that was not meant for us, she said slowly. We could pretend we never saw it. We could fly away and let whatever happens happen. No one would blame us. No one would even know. She paused. The bridge was silent. But I would know, and I would have to live with that for the rest of my life. 200,000 people, children, families, wiped out because we were too afraid to act. Price stepped forward. Lisa, think about this. If we go to Haven 4, if we try to interfere, we could all die, and it might not change anything. You are right, said. We might die, it might not change anything, but at least we will have tried, at least we will have done something. She looked around the bridge one more time. I am not ordering anyone to follow me. This is beyond our mission. This is beyond our duty. If anyone wants to object, speak now. No one spoke. Ensign was the first to break the silence. I joined the fleet to protect people, Captain, not just human people, all people. Engineer Samuel Torres, a broad man with hands, nodded from his station. The Steadfast is old, but she has got some fight left in her. So do I. One by one, the crew voiced their agreement. Price was the last. He sighed, shook his head, and then smiled. You are going to get us all killed, he said. Probably, admitted. Then let us make it count. What are your orders, Captain? Turned to face the stars stretched out before her, cold and indifferent. Some the Steadfast moved through space at maximum speed. The old engines shook and groaned, pushed harder than they had been pushed in years. The crew worked in silence, preparing for whatever waited ahead. Captain Lisa called a meeting in the small briefing room behind the bridge. The room had a single table and 8 chairs. The walls were bare metal, scratched and dented from years of use. A screen on one wall showed the decoded transmission. Commander Price sat to her right. Engineer Samuel Torres sat across from him, his thick arms crossed over his chest. Dr. Maria Santos, a small woman with kind eyes and steady hands, sat beside Torres. Ensign completed the group, her data pad ready to take notes. We have 60 hours until the attack began. 18 hours to reach Haven 4. That gives us 42 hours to prepare and warn the colony. I want to hear your thoughts, all of them, even the ones I do not want to hear. Price spoke first. I have to say what we are all thinking. The Dominion has one of the largest fleets in the galaxy. They have hundreds of warships. We have one patrol vessel that is older than most of our crew. If we engage them in combat, we will lose. We will die, Torres added bluntly. Let us be clear about that, we will die. Maybe, said, but let me ask you something. If we do nothing, what happens? The die, Santos said quietly. All of them. 200,000 people who never did anything wrong, families, children wiped out. And the galaxy moves on, added. They make up some excuse. Maybe they blame it on pirates. Maybe they say nothing at all. Who would stop them? Who would even question them? Nodded. That is the choice we face. We can save ourselves and let innocents die, or we can try to help and probably die ourselves. Price leaned forward. There might be a middle path. We do not have to fight the entire fleet. We just have to buy time. If we can warn the early enough, they can start evacuating. Every hour we give them means more lives saved. How many can they evacuate? Torres asked. Checked her data pad. Haven 4 has limited transport capacity. Based on their registered civilian vessels, they could move maybe 40,000 people before the attack. Perhaps more if they push their ships hard. That is still 160,000 people left behind, Santos said. 160,000 is better than 200,000, Price replied. We work with what we have. Stood and walked to the screen showing the message. She studied the details again. Fleet composition, attack vectors, expected resistance, none. They are expecting no resistance, she said. They are pacifists. They think they can just walk in and kill everyone without a fight. They are probably right, Torres said. But what if they are wrong? What if they arrive and find someone waiting for them, someone willing to fight back? Price understood immediately. You want to use us as a distraction, draw their attention away from the colony while the evacuations continue. One ship against a fleet, confirmed. We cannot win, but we can make them pay attention to us instead of the planet. Every minute they spend chasing us is another minute for the transports to escape." Tors scratched his chin. "The Steadfast is small and fast. Well, fast for her age. If I push the engines past safety limits, I can give us bursts of speed they will not expect. We can dodge and run, make ourselves hard to hit." "How long can you keep that up?" asked. "An hour, maybe 2. After that, the engines will burn out and we will be dead in the water." "An hour might be enough," said. "If the evacuations are already, an hour of distraction could save tens of thousands more lives." Santos had been quiet, her eyes distant. Now she spoke. "There is something else we need to consider. Why are they attacking they have never shown aggression toward them before? What changed?" Had wondered the same thing. They were powerful and arrogant, but they usually had reasons for what they did. Random attacks on peaceful colonies were not their style. "We do not know," she admitted, "and we do not have time to find out. Whatever their reasons, it does not change what we have to do." "Agreed," Price said. "The why can wait. Right now we focus on the how." Returned to her seat. "Here is the plan. We arrive at Haven 4 and make contact with the colony leaders. We show them the intercepted message. We help them start evacuations. When the fleet arrives, we engage them, draw their fire, keep them busy as long as we can." "And then," Tors asked. "And then we see what happens. Maybe reinforcements arrive. Maybe the withdraw, maybe we all die, but at least we will have given those people a chance." The room was quiet for a long moment, looked at each face. She saw fear, she saw doubt, but she also saw determination. "I need to send a message to Earth Command," she said. "They need to know what we are doing and why. By the time they receive it, we will already be at Haven 4. They will not be able to stop us or help us, but they will know." Nodded. "I will prepare an emergency burst transmission. Maximum compression, maximum range." "Include everything," ordered. "The intercepted message, our decision, our reasons. If we do not survive, I want the galaxy to know what happened here. I want them to know that humans saw innocents in danger and chose to act." Price stood. "I will work with Tors on battle preparations. We need to squeeze every bit of performance out of this old ship." Santos gathered her notes. "I will prepare the medical bay for casualties, and I will talk to the crew. They need to understand what we are asking of them." "They already understand," said. "They voted to come, they know what this means." "Knowing and accepting are different things. I want to make sure everyone has a chance to talk, to ask questions, to say goodbye if they need to." Felt a lump in her throat, she pushed it down. "You are right, thank you, Maria." The meeting ended. The officers returned to their duties, remained alone in the briefing room, staring at the screen. 200,000 lives. That was what hung in the balance. 200,000 people who did not know they were about to die. 200,000 people whose only hope was a single human ship and a crew of 43. She thought about her own life, her family back on Earth, her mother who still sent her messages every week even though the responses took months to arrive, her sister who had 2 children now that had never met in person. She might never see them again. But somewhere on Haven 4, there were mothers and sisters too. There were children who deserved to grow up. There were families who wanted nothing more than to live in peace. Closed her eyes, she took a deep breath. When she opened them again, her doubt was gone. "Computer," she said, "begin recording personal message." "Recording," the computer replied. "Mom, Kate, I hope you never have to hear this. But if you do, I want you to know that I am proud of what we did. I am proud of my crew, and I am proud to be human. Tell the kids I love them. Tell them their aunt did something that mattered. That is all I ever wanted." She paused. "End recording. Store for transmission with the emergency burst." Message stored. Left the briefing room and returned to the bridge. The stars rushed past on the Haven 4 waited ahead. Haven 4 was beautiful. The planet hung in space like a blue and green jewel, its surface covered with oceans and islands. Clouds drifted across its face in soft white patterns. From orbit, it looked peaceful. It looked safe. Captain Lisa stood on the bridge of the Steadfast and watched the planet grow larger on the. They had arrived with 36 hours to spare. It was more time than she had hoped for. It might still not be enough. "We are being hailed," Ensign reported. "The colony is asking us to identify ourselves." "Open a channel," ordered. The flickered, a face appeared. It was not human. They had large eyes with no pupils, smooth skin that shimmered in shades of blue and silver, and small gill slits on the sides of their necks. This one wore a simple robe of woven fabric. Its expression was impossible to read, but its voice was gentle. "Human vessel, you have entered space. We are a peaceful colony. We have no quarrel with your kind. Please state your purpose." Stepped forward. "I am Captain Lisa of the United Earth Fleet. I command the patrol vessel Steadfast. We are not here to cause trouble. We are here to help you." "Help us," the tilted its head. "We have not asked for help. We do not need help." "I am sorry, but you do. May I speak with your colony leader? What I have to say is urgent." There was a pause. The on the screen seemed confused. "Very well. I will arrange a meeting with Elder. She governs our colony. Please hold your position. We will send coordinates for a landing area." The screen went dark, turned to her crew. "Commander Price, you have the bridge. I am going down to the surface with a small team. Ensign, you are with me. We need your translation skills." "Understood, Captain," Price said. "What about the fleet? They could arrive early." "If they do, you know what to do. Start the distraction plan without me. Buy as much time as you can. And leave you on the surface." Smiled grimly. "If that happens, I will figure something out. Let us hope it does not come to that." An hour later, and descended to the surface in a small shuttle. The colony's main city spread out below them, a collection of domed buildings and curved towers that seemed to grow from the land rather than sit on top of it. Everything was designed to work with nature, not against it. They landed on a platform near the central dome. A group waited for them. At their head was an older female, her skin a deeper blue than the others, her movements slow and careful. "I am Elder," she said through a translation device that hung around her neck. "Welcome to Haven 4, Captain, though I confess your arrival puzzles us. Humans rarely visit our colonies." Bowed her head in respect. "Elder, I wish I came with better news. Is there somewhere private we can talk? What I have to tell you cannot be shared openly." Studied her for a long moment. Her large eyes seemed to look right through, seeing something beneath the surface. Then she nodded. "Follow me." She led them into the central dome. Inside, the air was warm and humid. Plants grew everywhere, filling the space with green life. Water flowed through channels in the floor, and somewhere in the distance could hear children laughing. The sound made her chest tight. Those children had no idea what was coming. His private chamber was simple. A low table, cushions for sitting, screens showing data from around the colony. The Elder lowered herself onto a cushion and gestured for Anne to do the same. "Now," said, "tell me why you have really come." Pulled out a data pad. She placed it on the table and activated the screen. The decoded message appeared, translated into the language. 32 hours ago, we intercepted this transmission. It was not meant for us. A solar flare disrupted the signal path and we caught it by accident. It is a military order from the Dominion. Leaned forward to read. As she did, her skin color began to change, shifting from deep blue to a pale gray. Had read that skin color reflected their emotions. Gray meant fear. "This cannot be correct," said. "They have never threatened us. We have no conflict with them." "I do not know why they are doing this," admitted. "But the message is real. The attack is scheduled for approximately 32 hours from now. A fleet is already on its way. There must be a mistake. Perhaps this is a training exercise. Perhaps the coordinates are wrong." Spoke up gently. "Elder, we checked the coordinates 3 times. They point directly to Haven 4, and the weapon specifications in the message are for ground bombardment, city destruction, mass casualties." Stared at the screen. Her gills fluttered rapidly, a sign of distress. "We are 200,000 people, families, children. We have no weapons, no military. We came here to live in peace." "I know," said. "That is why we came to warn you. You need to start evacuating immediately. Every transport you have, every ship that can carry passengers. Get as many people off this planet as possible." "We do not have enough ships. We never expected to need them. Our transport capacity is limited." "How many can you move in 32 hours? Closed her eyes. When she opened them, they were wet. Tears. "Perhaps 40,000, maybe 50 if we push our vessels beyond safety." "Then start now. Every minute counts." "And the rest, the 150,000 we cannot save." Felt the weight of the question. She had no good answer. My ship will stay. When they arrive, we will engage them. We will try to draw their attention away from the evacuation. One ship against a fleet. It is all we have. Was silent for a long time. When she spoke again, her voice was barely a whisper. Why would you do this? We are strangers to you. We are not your people. Thought about how to answer. She thought about the speeches she could give, the noble words she could use. But in the end, she chose simple truth. Because it is right, because no one else is here. Because 200,000 innocent people do not deserve to die, and we can at least try to help. That is what humans do, or what we should do anyway. Reached across the table and took's hand. Her skin was cool and smooth. Her grip was surprisingly strong. We do not have words for this in our language, she said. This kind of sacrifice, this kind of courage. We have always believed in peace and avoiding conflict. We never understood species who would fight. Fighting is not always about war, said. Sometimes it is about protecting those who cannot protect themselves. Perhaps we have been wrong about many things. Released her hand and stood. I will order the evacuations to begin immediately. Every ship we have will be loaded with passengers. The young and the sick will go first. What about you? I will stay. This is my colony, my people. If they are to die, I will die with them. Nodded, she understood. Then let us make sure as many as possible survive. Can your engineers work with mine? We may be able to improve your defenses, set up distractions, anything that might slow down the attack. I will arrange it, Captain. Paused. Her skin was still gray, but something else flickered through it. A hint of color, gratitude. Whatever happens, know that the will not forget this. Humans came to help us when no one else would. That story will be told as long as our people exist. Felt tears prick her eyes. She blinked them away. There was no time for emotion now. There was only work to be done. Let us make sure your people exist for a very long time, she said. We have 32 hours. The fleet arrived exactly on schedule. 12 warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel in perfect formation. They were beautiful in a terrible way. Long and sleek, their hulls were black as space itself, decorated with golden lines that traced ancient patterns. Each ship was 3 times the size of the Steadfast. Their weapons bristled from every surface. On the bridge of the Steadfast, Captain Lisa watched them appear her hands gripped the arms of her command chair. Her heart pounded in her chest, but her voice was calm when she spoke. All stations battle ready. Weapons online, reported Torres from his station. His fingers flew across the controls, checking and rechecking every system. Shields at maximum, Price added, such as they are. Communications ready, said. The evacuation transports are still leaving the surface. 73,000 people have been moved so far. More ships are loading now. 73,000. That was good. That was better than it hoped. But there were still over 100,000 people on the surface. The fleet moved toward the planet. They had not detected the Steadfast yet. The human ship was hidden behind one of the planet's moons, running on minimal power. It was a trick that would not last long. Time to make our presence known, said. Move us into their approach vector, all power to engines. The Steadfast shot out from behind the moon. Its old engines roared as Torres pushed them to their limits. The ship raced toward the fleet, positioning itself directly between the warships and the planet. They see us, reported. We are being scanned. Open a channel, all frequencies. Channel open. Stood, she straightened her uniform. She took a deep breath. Fleet, this is Captain Lisa of the United Earth Fleet vessel Steadfast. You are approaching a civilian colony that is under our protection. I demand that you withdraw immediately. Silence, then a harsh laugh came through the speakers. Under your protection. The voice was deep and cold. One human patrol ship claims to protect an entire world. You humans are even more foolish than we believed. Who am I speaking to? I am Fleet Commander of the Dominion, and you human are in my way. This colony has done nothing wrong. The people here are peaceful. They pose no threat to anyone. Their existence is threat enough. The Dominion has decided that this system belongs to us. They are an obstacle. Obstacles are removed. Felt anger rise in her chest. She pushed it down. Commander, if you proceed with this attack, you will be committing mass murder. The Galactic Council will not ignore it. The Galactic Council will do nothing. They never do. They talk and debate while the strong take what they want. But I grow tired of this conversation. You have one chance, Captain. Leave now, and I will let you live. Stay, and you will die with the rest. Looked around her bridge. She saw her crew. She saw their fear. She saw their determination. They had all chosen to be here. They all knew what was coming. I think I will stay, she said. Then you are a fool. Maybe, but I am a fool who will not stand by while innocents are slaughtered. If you want to reach that planet, you will have to go through me first. The channel went dead. They are powering weapons, Price reported. All 12 ships. Tors, give me everything the engines have. Start jamming their communications. They coordinate through a central command frequency, make their lives difficult. The battle began. The fired first. Beams of golden energy lanced through space toward the Steadfast. Tors slammed the controls, and the ship rolled hard to starboard. The beams passed close enough to scorch the hull but did not hit directly. Return fire, ordered. The Steadfast's weapons were small compared to the guns, but they were accurate. Blue bolts of plasma struck the lead warship's shields. They did little damage, but they got attention. 2 ships breaking formation to pursue us, Price called out. Good, that is 2 ships not bombarding the planet. Tors, lead them on a chase, keep them busy. The Steadfast dove and twisted through space. Tors flew the ship like it was an extension of his own body. He knew every limit, every weakness, and he pushed past them all. The pursuing ships were faster in a straight line, but they were not as maneuverable. They struggled to track the small human vessel. Jamming is working, reported. Their communications are disrupted. Ships are breaking formation to engage us independently. Perfect, keep them scattered. Another volley of fire. This time one beam clipped the Steadfast's port side. The ship shuddered. Alarms blared. Damage to Section 4, Tors reported. Minor hull breach. Emergency seals holding. Medical team to Section 4, Dr. Santos called over the intercom. Gripped her chair as the ship shook again. They had been fighting for 10 minutes. It felt like hours, but the evacuation transports were still leaving the surface. More lives saved with every passing moment. Another ship joining the pursuit, Price said. 3 now. That is 3 ships chasing us instead of killing civilians. Keep them interested. The Steadfast wheeled around and fired again. This time the plasma bolts found a weak point in one ship's shields. The vessel's hull sparked and burned. Direct hit, Tors said with grim satisfaction. But the return fire was brutal. Multiple beams struck the Steadfast at once. The ship screamed as metal tore and systems failed. Shields down to 40%, Price reported. Engine 3 is offline. We have fires on decks 2 and 5. Can we still move? Yes, but not for long. Made a decision. Tors, take us closer to the main fleet. If they want to shoot at us, make them risk hitting each other. It was a desperate move. Tors knew it, but he obeyed without hesitation. The Steadfast plunged toward the heart of the formation. The enemy ships scrambled to respond. They could not fire freely without risking friendly vessels. The chase became a complex dance, with the Steadfast weaving between massive warships while smaller weapons tried to track it. Transports report 102,000 evacuated, called. They are still loading more. 102,000, so many saved, but the Steadfast was dying. Another hit, more alarms. Tors cursed as a console exploded near him, showering sparks across the bridge. Smoke filled the air. The lights flickered. Engine 2 failing, Tors reported. I have got maybe 15 minutes of power left. Closed her eyes. They had done well. Better than she had any right to expect, but it was not going to be enough. Then's voice cut through the chaos. Captain, new contacts, multiple signatures dropping out of FTL. Eyes snapped open. Reinforcements. No, was crying, actually crying. They are human, 3 ships, UEF Valor, UEF Horizon, and UEF Resolute. They received our burst transmission. They came. On the 3 human warships appeared in a flash of light. They were not patrol vessels. They were destroyers, real warships with real weapons. This is Captain Cole of the UEF Valor, a new voice announced. Steadfast, we are here to help. Hold on. The 3 destroyers opened fire immediately. Their weapons were far more powerful than the Steadfast's. The lead warship took a direct hit to its engine section. Secondary explosions rippled across its hull. They are actually here, Price whispered. I cannot believe they are actually here. Wanted to laugh, she wanted to cry. Instead, she straightened in her chair and found her voice. All crew, this is the captain. Reinforcements have arrived. We are still in this fight. Keep those transports flying. The battle continued, but now the odds had changed. 4 human ships against 12 vessels, still not fair, still not enough. But it was no longer hopeless. The arrival of the 3 human destroyers changed everything. Fleet Commander had expected no resistance at all. He had planned for a simple extermination. Now his fleet was scattered, his communications jammed, and 2 of his warships were crippled. Captain Cole of the Valor coordinated the human forces with calm precision. He deployed his ships in a defensive pattern around the evacuation corridors, creating a protected path for the transport vessels still leaving the planet. Steadfast, fall back to our position, Cole ordered. You have done your part, let us take the pressure now. Wanted to refuse, her ship was damaged but not dead. She could still fight, but she looked around the bridge and saw her exhausted crew. Tors had burns on his arms from the exploding console. Price was bleeding from a cut on his forehead, was pale with exhaustion but still working at her station. Understood, Valor replied, moving to secondary position. The Steadfast limped behind the human formation. From this vantage point, could see the whole battle. The ships still outnumbered the humans 3-1, but the humans fought with a ferocity that seemed to surprise their enemies. Why are they doing this? One of the bridge crew asked. The Valor, the others, they came all this way for people who are not even human. Because we asked them to, said. Because that is who we are or who we should be. On the surface, Elder watched the battle from the colony's observation center. She had refused to evacuate. She would stay with her people until the end, whatever that end might be. But now, watching the human ships fight and die for strangers, she felt something she had never felt before. Hope. The tide of battle shifted slowly. They were powerful, but they were not prepared for this kind of resistance. Their formation had broken. Their command structure was in chaos, and with every passing minute, more transport ships escaped with their precious cargo. Fleet Commander received a priority communication from the High Council. Commander, what is happening? Reports indicate significant casualties and no progress on the objective. Stared at the screen showing his damaged fleet. The humans intervened. They were not supposed to be here. Humans, a minor species with no interest in this region. Why would they interfere? I do not know, but they are fighting as if this colony belongs to them. This operation was meant to be quiet, deniable. If humans are involved, the galactic community will take notice. We cannot afford the attention. Understood the implication. The attack on Haven 4 was never officially authorized. If it became public, the Dominion would face consequences, sanctions, investigations, perhaps even united action from other species. Your orders, he asked. There was a long pause. Withdraw. The objective is no longer achievable without unacceptable cost. Withdraw immediately. The command was bitter but had no choice. He gave the order to retreat. One by one, the ships broke off their attack and turned away. Their FTL drives powered up. Within minutes, they were gone. On the Steadfast, the bridge was silent, then spoke. They are leaving. All ships have withdrawn. Could not believe it. She watched as the enemy fleet disappeared into faster-than-light travel. The stars were empty again. Confirmed, Price said, his voice shaking. They are gone. They actually left. The bridge erupted in cheers. Crew members hugged each other. Some cried. After hours of fighting, after expecting to die, they had won. Final evacuation report, called out through the noise. 119,000 citizens successfully evacuated before the battle ended. The remaining population is safe on the surface. No planetary bombardment occurred. 119,000 saved, plus the 81,000 who remained on Haven 4, untouched because the never reached them. Every single person on that planet was alive because a handful of humans had refused to look away. Leaned back in her chair, she was exhausted, her whole body ached, but she was smiling. Captain Cole, this is, thank you for coming. Thank your own transmission, Captain. When we received your burst message, there was no debate. We plotted an intercept course immediately. Every ship that could make it in time came. You broke every protocol to get here. Some things are more important than protocol. Cole paused. You did a brave thing, a foolish thing too, but brave. It was not just me. My whole crew made this choice. Then thank them for me, for all of us. What you did here today, it matters more than you know. The next few hours passed in a blur. Damage reports, medical evaluations, repairs. The Steadfast had lost 7 crew members in the battle. Their names would be remembered. Elder requested a meeting with Captain. This time, the Elder came to the Steadfast herself, traveling up to the ship in a small shuttle. Met her at the docking bay. Looked older than before, tired, but her skin had returned to its normal blue color. She was no longer afraid. "Captain," she said, "I do not have the words to thank you. In our language, there is no phrase for what you have done. We are a peaceful people. We never understood why anyone would fight. But now I think perhaps we were wrong." "Fighting is not the answer to everything," said, "but sometimes it is the only answer. You saved my people. You saved our children that would have killed us all, and you stopped them. We did not stop them alone. Other ships came, other humans. Because you called them, because you were here first. You could have ignored what you found. That message was not meant for you. You had every reason to fly away and pretend you saw nothing." Thought about the moment she had made that choice. It felt like a lifetime ago. Some messages find you even when they are not meant for you, and once you know the truth, you cannot unknow it. Reached out and took her hand again. "The people will never forget this day. From now on, humans are not strangers to us. You are friends, allies, family." In the weeks that followed, the galaxy learned what had happened at Haven 4. The Dominion faced severe consequences. The Galactic Council imposed sanctions. Other species condemned the attempted genocide. An investigation was launched. For the first time in centuries, the Dominion was held accountable for its actions. They formed a permanent alliance with Earth. They shared technology, knowledge, and culture. Their peaceful philosophy began to influence human society, while human determination inspired them to be bolder in defending themselves. Other minor species took notice. They had watched humans risk everything for strangers. They had seen what humans were willing to do for people who were not their own, and they began to see humanity differently. Not as a young species, not as insignificant, but as something unexpected. Captain Lisa was awarded the Medal of Valor, the highest honor the United Earth Fleet could give. She accepted it quietly, thinking of the 7 crew members who had not survived to see this day. She wore their names on a small band around her wrist. She would wear them forever. 1 year later, Elder visited Earth. She brought gifts from her people: art, music, stories, and one special item that she gave to personally. It was a small carving made from a blue-green stone. It showed a human figure standing with arms spread wide, sheltering smaller figures beneath them. It was a symbol, explained, that they had created to represent what happened at Haven 4. "What does it mean?" asked. "It means protector of strangers. It means someone who fights not for themselves, but for others. We did not have this concept before we met you. Now we do." Held the carving in her hands. It was smooth and cool, and it seemed to pulse with gentle warmth. "The message that started all this was never meant for us," she said. "No," agreed, "it was not. But we answered anyway." "Yes," smiled in the way, her skin rippling with soft colors, "and the galaxy will never forget it." The carving sat on his desk for the rest of her career. When she retired, she passed it on to the next captain of the Steadfast. And so it was passed down through generations, a reminder of what humans could be when they chose to act. A reminder that some messages find you even when they are not meant for you. And that the best thing you can do is answer. The Steadfast limped through the chaos, still fighting, still drawing fire. And on the surface of Haven 4, the evacuation ships kept rising into the sky. "Let us use every second." The evacuations began within the hour. Ships lifted off from landing pads across the colony, each one packed with citizens. Families held each other close. Parents tried to explain to their children what was happening. Some cried. Some were too shocked to make any sound at all. On the Steadfast, Commander Price and Engineer Torres worked around the clock. They prepared the weapons, tested the engines, and calculated attack patterns that might keep them alive a few extra minutes. And in orbit above Haven 4, Captain Lisa watched the first transport ships disappear into the stars, carrying their precious cargo to safety. It was not enough. It would never be enough. But it was something. And behind them, time was running out. "We're out there, 200,000 innocent people had no idea they were about to die. "Set course for Haven 4, she said. "Maximum speed." The Steadfast turned toward the distant colony. Its old engines roared to life, and Captain Lisa prepared to do something that no one expected. She prepared to fight,